Welcome to a spooky weekly recap. I'm Count Knightenator and I shall be your ghostess with the mostess. Halloween is right around the corner, so I hope you're all dying to get into this week's updates, featuring the Halloween event, Fresh Start Worlds, Quest Speedrunning, Poison Dynamite, the Winter Game Jam 2022 and more. Let's get stuck in. Now, I don't know about you, but for me, Halloween does not start until the Old School RuneScape Halloween event comes out. And this year, Varrock is full to the brim of costumed horrors. Children dressed as ghosts, civilians dressed as beloved Shakespearean characters, and more. Not only that, we've had reports of sweets popping out of trees, rocks, and even fishing spots all over the world. NPCs far and wide are getting stuck in as the Halloween spirit sweeps across the whole of Gielinor. Strange things are afoot this Halloween season, and you best head to the Varrock's western bank to see what's what. This year's event is a little different from previous holiday events, but rest assured that you're all invited and there are no requirements. While most of the action can be found in and around Varrock, a handful of particularly generous NPCs could use some help getting in the spooky spirit that will take your trick-or-treating endeavours further afield. The only things you'll need to bring with you are a scary face and a handful of tricks to snag yourself some spooky cosmetic treats to ensure you're looking fabulous this Halloween. Next up, we've got Fresh Start Worlds. Last week saw the release of our Fresh Start Worlds, where we've seen thousands of players set foot in Gielinor for the first time in a long time. In case you missed it, make sure to check out the full Fresh Start Worlds blog on the Old School RuneScape webpage to find out more. To celebrate players making a fresh start, we've also been uploading some nostalgia-focused content on our YouTube channel, so make sure you take a look at those as well after this video. And check out this second volume of our lo-fi OSRS mixtape, produced by OSRS Beats with visuals by Hootie Tootie if you're looking for some tunes to accompany your scaping. And in beta news, we've got a couple of things we'd love for you to get your hands on and let us know what you think. What's coarse, rough, irritating and gets everywhere, including the Quest Speedrunning Worlds. If you've guessed sand, you've guessed correct. Prince Ali Rescue and Beneath Cursed Sands have been added to the Quest Speedrunning Worlds as open betas. Your times won't be saved, but these betas are immensely valuable to the OSRS team to tweak trophy times ahead of a full release. These quests will be taken out of beta and released properly in 2 weeks' time, so you have ample time to get in your practice for a day one platinum time to really give them pumpkin to talk about. Or maybe sand isn't your thing. Perhaps you'd prefer to combine sand and gunpowder in a 3x3 grid and make something a little more explosive. Well, unfortunately, RuneScape doesn't work quite like that, but we've made some changes to the Poison Dynamite following your feedback based on the current beta worlds. Players were finding it difficult to consistently utilise Poison Dynamite as a 1x1 explosion, so they've implemented 2 major changes here and want your opinions on which one you prefer. The first option is for a placed Poison Dynamite to explode in a 3x3 area rather than a 1x1. This should make it easier to get your poison ticking on larger NPCs where it was proving difficult to land the explosion on their true tile. The second is for Poison Dynamite to be usable directly on NPCs, more like a sticky bomb. In the beta world, both of these options will be functional, though we'd like your feedback to help us narrow down to one or the other. Alongside that, they've also made a handful of other tweaks to Poison Dynamite. Poison damage is increased to 6 in line with the P++ weaponry. New chance to hit calculations based on the player's loadout, which rolls the player's chosen combat style against the appropriate NPC's defense. No longer poisons NPCs if the initial explosion deals 0 damage. No longer hits multiple NPCs in multi-way combat areas. And no longer works inside of the fight caves. That's right, in the intro you heard me say Winter Game Jam. Some of you might remember April's Gielinor Gazette, where we shared some of the projects from the first ever Game Jam. The Jagex team thought it was fantastic to get to work on so many different ideas and see what all of you thought about them. And perhaps you'll be hearing more in the near future about some of the things that were pitched back in April. But the good news is that they're going to be hosting another Game Jam starting next week, meaning there will be no game update on November 2nd. But make sure to keep an eye out on social media platforms by checking out the hashtag OSRS Game Jam to see the sorts of things various members of the team are working on. perhaps even share some ideas of your own. They've got a whole host of content that they'd love to get working on and are excited for the opportunity to once again share their ideas with all of you. Next up, we've got a very quick update on the Tombs of Amascut drop rates and Osmondton's Fang. The team has released some Woox level data on the drop rates for Tombs of Amascut, so if you want to sink your teeth into it, then check the description to see all the behind the scenes balancing. And in other changes, there's a handful of other changes this week touching on all things all over the game. Players are now able to use Truva parchments on the Divine Rune pouch, rather than having to re-obtain the Thread of Eladinus after deaths in the wilderness. iOS users can now make use of the Bond voucher codes, added with last week's update. The Agility skill guide now shows the correct range level required for a bow of Fair Dinan. The hard desert diary task requiring the player to kill a Locust Rider now only works for killing a Locust Rider rather than killing the other creatures there. They fixed a bug where players wearing the Hallowed Ring could ignore all obstacles while 1 HP inside the Hallowed Sepulchre. And finally, they fixed a bug that allows players to skip obtaining Silverlight and the pressure gauge on quest speedrunning worlds. We're planning to deploy a fix for all instances of this with a future engine update, but in the meantime we encourage players to keep letting us know of any skips like this so we're able to patch them and keep completion times balanced. It's time for the PvP rota. The PvP rota has moved to Period B. Take a little look on the screen to see which worlds have changed. And World 390, which is the Australian world for LMS competitive, has been deactivated with this rota. The PvP arena is currently using Zerka loadouts in ranked duels and tournaments. And that's it from me from this week's irresistible weekly recap. If you want to come and find me quest speedrunning and generally causing havoc on the internet, search for Knightenator on Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram and TikTok. Don't forget to like this video and let me know in the comments which update you're most excited about. And until next time, keep it real.